and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Sony Xperia Z. Now, incidentally, this is the flagship for Sony and this is quite a decent looking phone. If you look at the device itself over here, it's got really nice overall looks. You can see it's got a really nice and glossy front glass, and you've got interesting optics as well on the device. On the side over here, you have covered ports, so you have a USB port which is covered, and you also have a micro SD card slot which is also covered. You also have your docking pins on the left of the device, which are over here as you can see. But the overall aesthetics of the device are really nice and good to look at. The Xperia Z is one of the nicer looking smartphones that have been launched in India. You can see the use of stainless steel as the power button makes the device look really premium, and the back glass itself gives it a very premium look. Itself, when you place it down on the table, it looks like a good slab of really nice construction. It overall has a good slim profile. It's kind of squarish in its design, and some people may find it a little awkward to hold because of the simple fact that it is a little wider than standard traditional phones, and it does not really fit well in the hand because of the sharp edges of the back as well as the front. But overall, aesthetics wise, this is a nice looking phone. If we talk about hardware on this device, on the top over here you can see we have the earpiece along with the Sony logo, and for the camera we have a front facing 2.2 megapixel camera that is capable of doing 1080p video. If we talk about the screen over here, we have a 5-inch 1920 by 1080 pixel display which gives it a total of 441 pixels per inch. So retina display is long gone. You also have 10-finger multi-touch on this device, along with a shatterproof scratch resistant glass, which is not really scratch resistant, and I'll talk about that when I get to that portion. And you also have the Sony Mobile Bravia Engine 2, which is again a little bit of a disappointment from this device, and I'll talk about that as well. If we turn it around to the back, we have an impressive 13 megapixel camera that does a good job of capturing pictures as well as full HD video. And you also have 16 gigabyte of inbuilt storage and 2 gigabyte of RAM. You have 32 gigabyte micro SD card expandability with the slot on the side. So that's more or less the total specifications of the hardware if we talk about that. But on the inside we have a quad-core Snapdragon Crate processor which is running at 1.5 gigahertz, and we also have Adreno 320 GPU. If we talk about the operating system, we have Android 4.1.2 that has been customized by Sony's own Timescape user interface, which looks really nice, and you can see this nice shutter looking effect that we have on the device that looks really good. So if we talk about the lock screen over here, you have this new shutter effect that they have added to lock the screen. You can slide in from the left to access your music controls, and you can slide in from the right to directly go to the camera. Since we are already in the camera, let's talk about the camera interface a little bit real quick. I'll need to unlock it to go into the camera settings. So if you go into the camera settings, you can see that we have the camera resolution. I can set it to 12 megapixel. Although it says that it has a 13 megapixel camera, but the maximum image size is 12 megapixel that it captures, which is quite strange. You also have self timer, you also have quick launch, you have touch capture which you can turn on or off, you can set your storage, you can turn on flash, smile shutter, geotagging, etc. And you can also set the flash settings. You can also change the mode from a superior auto to a standard normal mode, video mode, a burst mode. You can also have picture effects. You have a couple of picture effects that you can apply. So you have fisheye, nostalgic, miniature. You can look at all these effects as and when you're clicking a picture. You can also shift from picture effects to a sweep panorama, a scene selection. You can also switch to the front camera and a front video as well. Again, you can have the settings for those as and when you record. You also have a nice interface which allows you to capture video or photo depending on what you want without needing to toggle from photo to video mode. And you can also capture images while you're recording video, just like HTC did with their One series. That's a quick look at the lock screen. If we come back into the main home screen over here, let me quickly change the wallpaper, guys, because it's a little difficult to see with this wallpaper. I'm going to try and put a darker wallpaper in the background. And I'll also be able to show you how easy it is to change the wallpaper. So you simply tap down on the screen and just pick out a wallpaper. I just can't seem to find a wallpaper that will look nice on the screen. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into the camera and I'm just going to click a black picture. And I'm going to use that as the wallpaper for the purposes of this video. So we've set a black wallpaper in the background so that you can view the icons on the screen easily. You can see we have a date and time information, which is also a widget from Sony. You can quickly tap that, go to your alarm settings, etc. You can go to the clock basically. And if I come back out, you can see we have a standard Timescape user interface. I can pinch out to get all my screens, but they've changed the way I pinch out and look at my display, whereas earlier I used to get dancing widgets. Now I get all my screens that you can scroll through easily without any issues. You can get up to 7 home screens as per your requirement, and you can customize them as and in the way that you want to. You can also set a particular dashboard as your home screen. You also have a nice new notification panel for the Timescape user interface. You can turn on or off Wi-Fi, sound, etc. from here, and you can also go into settings directly from here. The Xperia Z has an interesting amount of power and management capabilities. You can also turn on stamina mode, low battery mode, and interestingly enough, you have location-based Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi will automatically be turned on when you're in the proximity of a saved Wi-Fi network. For example, we have Wi-Fi saved in our office, so every time I walk in with the Xperia Z, the Wi-Fi turns on. So that's an interesting new feature in the power management mode. Of course, you have Xperia settings as well, so you can set your internet settings, your screen mirroring from an Xperia television or a Sony television. You can also start mirror link from this via USB to another device. Again, you can wirelessly transfer Xperia information on your Media Link enabled devices. And of course, you have USB connectivity options here as well. So a bunch of Xperia settings that are here, and you can also configure your apps. You also have NFC enabled on this device, so you can turn on NFC and have the Xperia settings from the previous generation of Xperia phones, so the Xperia P, which allowed you to organize your device using NFC. You can do that with the Xperia Z as well. A couple of things that I would like to bring to notice is that despite the fact that you have a full HD display, it is quite washed out outdoors. It's not as great as the display was on the Xperia S. Or in fact on the Xperia P, and we don't know what the reason for that is, and Sony is really let down with the quality of the display on the Xperia Z. The Xperia Z is certified water resistant to IPv5, and that makes it a good phone to use, especially you can use it during rains and all of that, and it won't be a problem. Again, it's not recommended that you use this device in water, but the fact that it is resistant up to 1 meter and to a maximum of 30 minutes from water, so you have IP57 certification, so it is dust and water resistant, so it will have a longer life, but it's not waterproof. If you look at the dialer over here, you can see we have a nice Xperia dialer. I can shift from contacts to favorites to groups, and if I go into messaging over here, you can see we have the standard Xperia keyboard. You also have continuous input in this, which looks really nice and works really well. So let me quickly show you. And as you can see, despite the fact that I was completely off track, it quite got that right. If I switch from portrait to landscape on this, I get a wider keyboard. It looks really nice. Overall, I like the way graphics have been laid out on the Xperia Z. It looks really nice. I'm also going to quickly try and play a video of YouTube on this device for you guys.
We're going hands-on with the new HTC One. It's their new flagship Android device from the company. So let's take a quick look. You can see the overall construction of.
So while you're playing back videos, the colors come out quite right, but overall when you're clicking pictures and all of that, the colors are quite faded on the screen, and that just seems to be a mismanagement of software capabilities for the device. We feel that the display is quite nice, but it seems a little washed out at times, and it seems that it's sometimes too bright to look at, and the colors are just not deep enough. That's an issue with the screen, and the other issue we have is the location of the speakerphone. As we did mention in our gaming review as well, the location of the speakerphone is quite inconvenient. If you're holding the device like this, you will quite muffle the speakerphone, and if you're holding it with one hand, either way, from your left hand or from your right hand, in both scenarios, you end up muffling up the speaker. So the location of the speaker, although well thought of to not come in the way, will actually come in the way if you hold the device like this. But if you're playing games like this, the speakerphone is on the top. So the issue with the speakerphone being on the rear and being muffled out gets eliminated. You can check out our gaming review on the screen right now. You can see that the gaming review is here, and you can click on the screen and go to our gaming review to check out what we said about gaming on the Xperia Z. You can also check out benchmarks for the Xperia Z on the screen right now. So click on the video on the screen to check out the benchmarks for the Xperia Z. Overall, we are quite happy with the device, and we think at a price of about 38,000 rupees, it is a good option for those looking for an upgrade to the Sony devices. Although we feel that the display could have been a little better and the position of the speakerphone is a little off. In terms of performance, we feel that the phone is quite capable, and as you must have seen in our gaming review, the phone is capable of handling high-end graphic games without any issues whatsoever. Over prolonged usage, this area of the phone gets a little warm, and we are unhappy with that, and it becomes quite a little uncomfortable to hold after it gets really warm. The fact that it has NFC and all the futuristic capabilities of devices nowadays makes it a little future-proof for at least the next year. So if you do end up buying the Sony Xperia Z, you are investing in a good piece of hardware. If Sony can fix the color saturation in an update, that'll be really nice, and we'll be able to get a nicer looking display. But if it's indeed a hardware issue, then we're not too sure of what the situation of this phone is going to be like. In terms of battery life, we are quite happy with the Sony Xperia Z. With the added power management inside the device, we feel that you will be able to use this device for a long period of time without any issues. You do get a full days of use without any problems, but if you do turn on the power management features, the usage gets a little prolonged. When the device does heat up, it does not drain the battery, so it's not an issue with the battery heating up, it's an issue with the processor not managing the heat properly. Overall, we feel that the Xperia Z is a great option for the price that it's come at, but if you are willing to wait or willing to invest a little further, you might be able to get better options. But if you're looking for the Xperia lineup, the fact that it is sealed and resistant from water may be a value addition for some people, which other devices may not be able to offer. The fact that it sits flat on the table, whether you put it vertically or horizontally, makes it another good thing about the device, and you can also prop it up if you so may choose to. Sony has probably followed along the lines of the iPhone and added some markings on the back, as well as some barcodes at the bottom, which may not be aesthetically sound to some. You also get a good feature that allows you to quickly jump to Google now when you swipe in your finger from the bottom, so it allows you to quickly initiate search. The multitasking on this is slightly different, so you get a bunch of things that you can enable, and you also get quick widget sort of things that allow you to overlay widgets on the screen. You can get a timer, you can get a calculator, so nifty little pop-ups that almost look like pop-ups from the Samsung TouchWiz user interface, but on the timescape they allow you to only have one pop-up at a time, and you can also quickly jump to the application from here. Again, you can customize these pop-ups as per your requirement, and you can also download some small apps from the Google Play Store. You can also manage your running application by simply sliding them to the left, or you can tap on any of them to quickly jump to that. With a good mix of software and hardware, the Sony Xperia Z is, like I said earlier, a good option. And as you can see, we ran through the full video and we only dropped 1% of battery. So in terms of battery life, we are quite happy with the device. And we'll be coming out with the camera review shortly, so you can stay tuned for that. If you have any questions or queries, you can leave those in the comment section below or on iGyan, our website. You can also catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and do subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyanTV. For iGyan Networks, it's been Bharat.